How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to episode 3 of our brand new Columbus Blue Jackets franchise mode series. Here at the halfway point of year number 1, 41 games into the 2020-21 regular season. In the last one, we paused, finding ourselves in third place of the Metropolitan Division, tied with the Flyers and 1 point behind the Islanders, who are in first place and have a game in hand. It is an extremely tight race, but we are glad to be surprisingly ahead of the Rangers, Hurricanes, Penguins, Capitals. We've been doing quite well with a record of 23-16-2, largely in part to Oliver Bjorkstrand, who's been killing it at a close to point per game pace. Patrick Laine with 18 goals of his own. Domi, Texier has been really showing up here at the age of 21 in his sophomore season. Kind of his full first season, though, as he's getting second line minutes with all of that. And he's listed as second line forward as well. But we did make big moves going out to solidify our first line center position, hopefully of the distant future, picking up Sam Reinhardt from the Buffalo Sabres. He currently has 32 points in 39 games. He's been doing very well for us with that low elite potential, has a good line fit on the first line, and he's been helping Bjorkstrand and Laine, it seems like. And not right at the beginning, but later into the episode, we also picked up Justin Falk from the St. Louis Blues, and in 19 games, he currently has 17 points and is a +8. He has a +5 in the second defensive pair. It cost a lot to get him from St. Louis, but he has been a huge help for us, and things have been going well. Our biggest question probably in the last episode was to say, what are we going to be doing with goaltending? We've been rolling both goalies for almost the same amount of appearances, and Korpisalo is starting to get a noticeable edge over Elvis Merzlikins, and I think we're going to be rolling with him as the starter moving forward. The question then becomes, are we going to even keep Elvis on this team? Do we look to trade him? Do we look to trade anyone else? There's been a lot of discussion of, Atkinson, he has a big contract, trade him now while he still has trade value. Seth Jones has still been saying that we should move him. There were some suggestions for that on his expiring contract in a couple seasons. There were some suggestions on picking up some younger players like Evan Bouchard over on the Edmonton Oilers. There's been a lot of good suggestions, and like I said, as the channel grows, the comment section grows as well. I think it was something like 40 or 50 comments in the last one, so I obviously cannot go over each one because that'll take a good half hour, but I do want to highlight just a couple of them, look at what our decisions will be heading into the second half of this first season, and then decide from there. If you did not already know, we're not necessarily going for the Stanley Cup right now. That's always, that would be amazing. But we're just trying to make this team solid enough that Seth Jones wants to stay on it. We have been called in to stop the bleeding here on Columbus, make a couple moves, take the pieces we already have, and make it work. That's how we've been able to just add Reinhardt and Falk and kind of do that. Also, totally forgot we picked up depth pieces in Tyler Bozak, who came in the Falk deal, who's been doing well as a bottom 6 forward for us, 6 points +3 in 19 games. And we also picked up Michael Frolik from the Montreal Canadiens, and he's played the entire season. He has 9 points, -2 in 41 games. Not bad for our fourth line. And Jason Demaris as well. I can't believe I totally forgot about talking about everybody else. Those were all the big moves, but also the depth moves make everything happen. Demaris with a +3 on chemistry. He's currently a -10, so he's not been doing great. That's why he kind of got demoted to the third pair. But 8 points, and he does have a presence for us on the penalty kill as well. So Jason Demaris, cannot forget about him. I cannot believe I forgot to mention some of those other moves. So like I said, we keep the core together. We still have Laine, Bjorkstrand, Jenner, Atkinson, Texier, Domi, Roslovic, Robinson, Gavrikov, Renski, Jones, blah, 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 blah. But we do try to make just a few moves that make this team more competitive, and I think we've been succeeding. Now, before I get into the comments, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of links that you'll find in the description down below. Thanks to Assistant GM Hobbsy. He's been putting together a spreadsheet on the franchise. I'm not sure how much he's put into it yet, but he is working on it. And if you do want to take a look at the opening day lineups and the different trades, signings, obviously not as much to say right now, but as we get 10 years into this franchise, it will be pretty full. So thank you to him for volunteering to put together this spreadsheet, and it'll be a fantastic resource for us down the road when we want to go back and look at things that we may have forgotten and reflect on the past. Another link in there, thanks to I Worship Monkey over in the Discord server. He put together a spreadsheet as well, but this one is all about line chemistry, and it has every single player in the organization's breakdown of their scheme fit, their potential, their age, their player type, etc. And he's been kind of linking those to the organizational needs as a whole, making pie charts and figuring out where are we kind of lacking, which players would fit where, and what kind of coach would we be looking for. So thank you to both of you for those links, and I'm sure all the viewers here would love to take a deep dive on those if you are interested in seeing more about the franchise. But now, getting into the comments, diving into the YouTube portion, starting off with Cody. Cody says, like moves for Falk and Reinhardt, but surprised you're not going for the +5 with Jenner on the first line. Yes, that is a possibility for us. But that being said, Bjorkstrand is killing it. That's why I've been keeping just the +3 instead on that first line. Biggest struggle is net inconsistency, but I also don't want to give up on Elvis. He's tied himself to the franchise forever IRL in my eyes with his comments about Matisse. And it is something we really do have to take into consideration. Like, we can't be realistic for Seth Jones, but then not be realistic for Elvis, right? So I'm not going to say that Elvis is on this team forever, but if he continues to not perform very well and Korpisalo really takes the crease, yes, I think Elvis will be on his way out at the earliest time, most likely at the draft. I was thinking about trading him for Chris Drieger, but then all the comments came out about what he was saying at Kivlenik's memorial service, and I think that he is absolutely a part of this franchise, at least for a full season with us under him. He loves it here. The players love him. The fans love him. But if Korpisalo is taking the crease, I can't have I can't have a backup goalie making $4 million forever. He's going to have to leave eventually, and I'd like to get pieces for him. That being said, I'm going to keep rolling with the goalies as is, but giving Korpisalo the start. So I know a lot of other comments are talking about trading Merzlikins for, whether it be for Drieger or for picks, but I think that's going to be our plan moving forward. Kind of, yes, it's realism, but it also just makes sense, because if Korpisalo gets injured, it's good to have a capable starting goalie, 84 overall, ready to slot in. Back to Cody's comment, we were also thinking about the Philip Kurashev trade that the Blackhawks offered us. It was Kurashev for Del Zotto and 2/4. The Hawks trade isn't awful, but when you're playing with injuries on, it's good to have 3 depth pieces, 1 for the top 6, 1 for the bottom 6, and 1 for defense. Kurashev fits the second line, so he seems like a great top 6 depth piece for us. Vinny also saying the same thing about Kurashev. It would be good to get him and use him as depth, and he'll grow 78 overall, low top 6 if someone gets injured. But that means getting rid of Del Zotto, and we love Michael Del Zotto. The only issue is that it seems as though with picking up Justin Falk and moving down Jason Demaris, our 7th D has become Dean Kukan, who has 6 points, 4 goals, +8 in 20 games. He's been amazing. And Michael Del Zotto, he's like the 8th, 9th defenseman, because if I really needed to call someone up as well for maybe like a long-term fit, depending on what the injury is, it would probably be Kyle Wood. I was looking at his scheme fit, thanks to Pat's comment that I'll pull up in the Discord server, saying I would love to see Kyle Wood's chemistry fit. Does he work with this coach? The answer is yes. So he is a balanced cycle player. And in the NHL, that is exactly what our coach wants in the second pair, balanced cycle, which means playing him with Justin Falk would give him a +5. So that is why Del Zotto, if there was an injury and Kukan didn't quite fit, I'd probably go to Kyle Wood before I went to Del Zotto, thus making him the 9th defenseman. I love him, but I don't think I really see a spot for him on this team. And if I could get Philip Kurashev, a 21-year-old with low top 6 potential, maybe it makes sense. Back to Pat's comment. He says he doesn't necessarily love the deal from the Hawks because the mid-round picks with my scouting will net a better return than just 1 low top 6. With a fresh team, you need to maximize your few assets. And I do 100% agree with that. That's why I'm going to try and squeeze a deal out of it that doesn't have to give them 2 4th-round picks. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That being said, definitely trade Elvis. Korpisalo is the wave, and Elvis can get you an upgrade to an everyday player spot over a guy who plays 20 to 25 games. That's why I say, you know what, I think Elvis, I'm pretty confident he's on his way out, but I'd like to make that move at the draft. I like this team as it is right now. Yes, we could get a better third-line player, but that means we wouldn't be getting a backup goalie, because if I trade Elvis for a backup, it's a lateral move, and we can pick up some picks with it. If I trade Elvis for a third-liner, now who's our full-time backup goalie? That's the thing. Always lots to juggle as a general manager. And of course, Pat has his eyes on that first free agency class with Zach Hyman that'll be in it. Akira says 4th round picks are pretty expendable. By the time those guys are ready, there are lots of really good generated players in free agency that you can pick up for free. Kurashev will be ready to go next year. That's why I definitely want to try and make that trade happen. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but hey, it doesn't hurt to try. And that's what Brian Michalak says. As the trade goes, the 4th and Del Zotto, drop one of our 4ths, try and make a squeeze by. Trade Elvis for picks maybe, but that goes back into what I was talking about earlier. Andrew says definitely take the Kurashev trade. Del Zotto is replaceable, and 2/4 won't fetch you very much in year 2 unless you find a gem. I think it was 1/4 this year, 1/4 next year. So either way, year 1 and year 2, not usually the deepest of drafts. Kraft says we shouldn't be bearing Peak or Peaky. I haven't figured out which one it is. Someone please help me. On the 3rd pairing in the AHL, he's 23 with medium top 4 D potential. Play him on the top pair. So I did go ahead and make that move. Peak will play on the top pair with Clendening. This gets him a +3. I did make some other changes as well. I swapped Matteau and Kuffner. That gives the second line a +5 now. So Schlappick 80, Cliff Poo 75. With his medium top 9 potential, hey, if there's anything that's going to get him to grow, it's a +5. So hopefully that does something down in the AHL. I hadn't even looked at them in the last episode, but they have a record of 18, 11, and 6. Not too shabby. Hopefully they continue to improve now with the boosted chemistry. Scott Salmon saying, let's build this team around defense. Get some defensive forwards. We already have the top pair and goalies for it. Also, that plays into Joel Litjuke's comment. That says, according to him, he thinks that this team should be we should try to build this team around a super stacked D core. Since we usually focus on elite forwards in our franchise modes, maybe try something a little different. And if there's ever a team to try it with, it's probably the Columbus Blue Jackets with Werenski and Jones as that top pair, hopefully for the very long-term future. Love the series so far. Keep crushing it. Thank you very much to Jukesy. And I won't read through them on the screen because they're big paragraphs, but a shout out to ZNC45 and to Legend, Addie Jane, over in the Discord server, who both left comments basically saying that we should go look in free agency and consider signing Ralph Recker. And you know what? Narf even said the same thing. And their arguments pretty much boiled down to, just like how we signed Alex Ovechkin in our Ottawa Senators franchise mode, we should be signing Ralph Recker in this franchise mode because we gave the computer a chance, they didn't sign him, and now we've done what we could, now the door is open for us to do it. Now, I do see that argument 100%, but here's the reason why I want to hold off on it. I know it's going to be a bit disappointing. But the reason is because I flooded the market with 5 high-caliber free agents. Even Dustin Byfuglien's not getting signed here. In year number 1, the teams and their contracts are pushed to 50. The salary caps are at the edge. They do not have room to sign anyone. So if, for example, if I put 50 created players into free agency, I can't just let 3 of them get signed and then choose 6 of the best 47 remaining and say, well, I gave the computer a chance. I need to understand and say the computer is not smart enough to sign these guys because they're not going to trade away an AHL top 2 defenseman who's taking up a contract spot and then sign Ralph Recker, for example. It's not smart enough to do that. So I am going to wait until maybe like a week into actual free agency before I even consider signing one of the created players. The only reason they're not signed yet is because the computer's not smart enough, not because they didn't do it. In Ottawa, in the franchise mode where we signed Ovechkin, we gave it a whole week. Teams had cap space, teams had roster spots. His demand wasn't crazy, but no one was signing him. So I said, you know what? This makes sense. And I don't really see those two situations as identical at this moment. So with all those thoughts taken into consideration, thank you for leaving them, everyone. I know there's a lot that I couldn't touch upon, but I made sure to always reply to, so thank you for that. I want to go look at that deal with the Chicago Blackhawks for Philip Kurashev. He's on the block. He doesn't have a lot of value. 78 overall, 21 years of age, low top 6. He's playing in the AHL. He has 24 points in 33 games. He was a 4th-round pick in 2018. Playmaker, fits on the second line, signed for another season after this one. It doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. So they want Michael Del Zotto, first and foremost. I'm happy to trade him away. Well, I'm okay with trading him away. I'm not happy about it. And I'm also going to throw in this guy, Johansson, AHL top 2, 55 overall, 20 years of age. And on top of that, I'll also throw in Bjorgvik Holm, 59 overall, 18 years of age. I'd rather keep my picks and draft players who are going to be much better than AHL top 2 than have to trade 1 or even 2 of those 4th round picks. Maybe I still have to, but I want to see what did the Blackhawks think when I say, how about I give you 2 prospects instead of 2 4th round picks? So what do you say to this, Chicago? Trade rejected, doesn't meet the block particularly well, and that's okay. It's better than having to give up 2 4th round picks. Let me see if I can work it out. I have 2 7ths this year. I have 3 7ths the year after. So let me throw in a 7th in 2022 from the Maple Leafs. Value is not just there. Let me try another 7th round pick. I'll give you the Coyotes as well. And doesn't meet the block particularly well. That's okay. We'll work at it. I do have 2 4ths in 2022. So instead of giving 2 4ths, I'm not sure if they were both in 22 actually. So maybe Andrew was right. They could have been both in 2022. So instead of giving 2 4ths, I'm going to try giving you one of those 4ths and taking something back. 7th this season, trade rejected. Okay, let me just try 1 4th then. Still rejected. Oh, I'm really surprised. I know these guys don't have a lot of value, but I thought it would push it over the edge. I guess it's just that they're not interested in them. I didn't want to have to give 2 4ths. I definitely will not be giving 2 4ths. But let me try working at it. Let's try a 4th and a 7th with these 2 prospects. And trade accepted. All right, that's much more fair. So basically, instead of giving 2 4ths, I turned it into a 4th and a 7th, and 2 random guys we're never going to see again. So still not happy to always have to give up picks, but at least we still have a 4th in that draft. We get Kurashev, and we change one of the 4ths to a 7th. It was a hard bargain. His trade value was lower than it should have been, so I don't mind. But Philip Kurashev, welcome to the Columbus Blue Jackets organization. We'll slap you into Cleveland, get you some ice time, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're an NHL player, 4th line center, something like that, by next season. So let me find him a spot. Actually, you know what? Emil Bemstrom is probably the guy I'll send down. He doesn't have a good fit in the bottom 6 at all. So I'll send down Bemstrom. I'll call up Kurashev. And I'll just do it like that. Instead, Kurashev becomes my 13th forward, and Bemstrom can go and play in the AHL. Bemstrom wasn't looking great, nor was his fit amazing. Kurashev, I can't see his... Hold on, I gotta put him in the lineup, and then they'll tell me his scheme fit. And of course, Max Domi is injured right now, so that means Kurashev slots into the lineup right away. Put him on the 4th line, gives it a +1, and hey, he has a good fit, amazing fit on the 2nd line. Play him over with the right players. It'd probably be a +5 if I could get... a better power forward. It would be a +5 on that 2nd line. But hey, Philip Kurashev, welcome to the 4th line here in Chicago. Sorry, from Chicago to Columbus. And he'll be playing his first games in the NHL as well, as he's going to be pulled out of the AHL and given that opportunity. This trade makes a lot of sense for us. He wants to leave Chicago. Chicago wants to get him onto a team that gives him experience. That's what he wants. That's what they want. Everybody's happy. Let me put Bemstrom in here for Sherwood instead, because he's more of a right winger anyways. So his chemistry says he fits the 2nd line. I'll make it work. All right, so Bemstrom, Schlappick, and Cliff Poo on that 2nd line. Matteau goes to the 3rd line, gives it a +1. Lovely. All right, everybody's happy in Cleveland. Kurashev, welcome to the team. We're going to keep rolling with Jonas Korpisalo. Justin Falk's been killing it. I'm happy to keep on going, and I'm excited to keep on going. I think this team is really doing something special in this first season under GM Data and company. So make sure Korpisalo is between the pipes to get this game against the Lightning. We're not going to be going +5 just yet because Domi's still out, which means I don't really have a centerman for the 2nd line if I call up Boone Jenner. So I'll keep it +3, +3, 0, +1. And let's get this game simulated. The Lightning are 27, 13, and 2. We are 23, 16, and 2 at Amalie Arena. Let's do it. First period of the 2nd half of the regular season, 3-1 Lightning. Cam Atkinson opens it up 50 seconds in, but then Palat, Johnson, and Point score 3 goals in like a minute and a half. So that is rough. And the 2nd period starts off with a goal. Great. 2nd period, 6-1. Okay, so the goaltending may actually be an issue here. Korpisalo has let in 6 goals on 27 shots. What was it? 3 goals in 2.5 minutes here, and then 3 goals in like 4 minutes here. So that's not ideal. Down by 5 in the 3rd period. I don't think much is going to happen here. Let's just chalk it up to Tampa just destroying us. That's what happens once in a while. And yeah, call it a day. 6-1 the final. Korpisalo faced 39 shots, and he pretty much got left out to dry. So I'm not going to put the blame on him, but it does not look good. Let's really hope he can bounce back against the Nashville Predators. They're 20, 20, and 5. They're a team at 500. If Korpisalo can't get this one, then maybe we have something to think about. Maybe there's a concern But sorry, Korpisalo's still in. Perfect. Hopefully that's not the case. Let's just hope we can chalk it up to Tampa Bay, like I said. So, first period at Nationwide Arena, former Central Division rival in the Nashville Predators. First period, 1-1, Kunin and Cam Atkinson once again getting the goals for us. He is a huge piece of this franchise's history. I'd like to keep him and maximize him. Even though his value is higher than it'll probably ever be again right now, I think we got to hang on to him. Second period, 3-3. So we exchange goals back and forth twice. Haula Roslovic, then Johansson, Bjorkstrand. And this game's tied at 3 shots, 26-19 in our favor, headed into the final 20 minutes now. 4-3. Thank you, Justin Falk. Lovely. Just 3 minutes and 7 seconds into this period. He's been killing it for us, and Seth Jones against the team that drafted him makes it 5-3. Back in that Seth Jones for Ryan Johansson deal. Johansson scored as well, so both of those pieces getting goals in this one. Power play for the Lightning, for the Predators late, but it's not enough. So we got outshot 36-33 in this one, but we come away with the 5-3 victory. Roslovic with a goal and 5 hits. 2 assists for Alex Texier, 2 assists for Zach Werenski, and that is a great win for us. That is a really, really nice win. Advancing now, Schlappick has a concussion. He's out for a little bit, so I'll replace him quickly. Let's get some simulation done. I'm going to go Elvis against the Caps, Korpisalo against the Rangers and Devils. Then I'll keep Elvis against the Canadiens. I'll go Korpisalo against the Wild. Then we'll get the All-Star break, and we'll see how we're looking like before the game against Buffalo. So let's simulate those. And after the game against the Capitals here, Max Domi is fully healed and back in the lineup, so we'll get him in. Philip Kurashev in his first little taste of NHL action. 3 games, -3, 5 shots. Not ideal, but you can head back to the press box for a little bit. I feel bad not giving him ice time, so I'd like to be giving him that. I'm going to let it go, I don't know, maybe 10-ish games, and if no injuries are coming in, I might send him down to the AHL for a little bit of conditioning, but I will swap these lines back up, get Domi on the second line. Keeps it with a +1, so not as good as that +3 with Boone Jenner, nor is that +5. Are we getting that +5 with Bjorkstrand there? I could put Bjorkstrand on the second line. It does keep it as a +1. I have to start moving things around a little bit, but you know what? Texier has been killing it. That's the reason I haven't been doing that +5, +1, 0, because I don't want to move Texier to the third line with how well he's been doing. So I'll keep 3-1-1 for the moment. Now that Domi's back in the lineup, we can get an actual representation of how this team is doing. And if there are issues that persist, then we can start thinking about making changes. 3-2 shootout loss against the Caps with Elvis between the pipes. Let's get that simulation that I just promised over and done with now. All right, both the goalies and the scoring have woken up here after that first 6-1 shellacking. It was a 5-3 win with Korpisalo in net, then a 5-0 shutout victory by Korpisalo, 6-3 win with Korpisalo, and then a 6-1 win with Elvis. So the scoring is really showing up. Look at this, 5, 5, 6, and 3, and the goals against are getting lower as well. So beautiful to see all that. We are 28, 17, and 3 here at the All-Star break. I'm going to get some simulation into the month of February, and I'm going to stop at the 13th to update the scouting reports. So that means we'll go see the game against the Islanders on the 14th. I'm going to give, let's see, the Sabres, and let's see, I'll give these 3, Jets and Blues, to Korpisalo. I'll give the Avalanche a tough matchup, and then the Coyotes as well to Elvis. Then I'll go Vegas and Caps to Korpisalo, and then whoever did better will get the game against the Islanders. Jason Demaris with a bruised arm out until February 17th. Not too long at all, just about a week and a half. So because it's not going to be, like, I could move Gavrikov down to the third pair and then bring up Wood for the +5 with Justin Falk, but I'm going to keep the +5 with Gavrikov, and I'll just bring in Dean Kukan to get them a +1 with Gabriel Carlson on that third pair. Vegas Golden Knights, we lose 4-3. I'll give you the overview on the calendar in just a moment. Schlappick fully healed right before that game against the Islanders. That means he can come back into the lineup. McInnes, yeah, not bad. 8 points in 13 games. Good stuff. All right, so I didn't quite follow what I said I would do by accident. I started off with Elvis by mistake. So Elvis lost 2-1 and 5-3, and then a 5-2 win. Korpisalo got the 3-2 win, 5-4 loss, 4-3 loss, 5-4 win. I believe he was in for all 4 of those games. So the last 3 have been a bit rough as he's let in 4, 4, and 5. I'm going to go Elvis against the Islanders here, and we'll see how he can do. I'm going to go Elvis here against the Islanders, who have almost an identical record to us. It's a big matchup. They're right ahead of us in the standings. Korpisalo might be a little bit more tired, so I am going to go with Elvis. Bjorkstrand is at point per game right now, 55 and 55. As we get closer to the deadline, we'll have to figure out if any moves will be happening. Korpisalo, 911, 274. Elvis, 908, 284. Neither of them really convincing me, although I do still give Korpisalo the slight edge. At Nationwide Arena against the Islanders, let's do it. First period here, 0-0, shots tied at 8. Second period, 1-0. Bjorkstrand gives us the lead. That's 56 points in 56 games for him. A huge goal, 37 seconds left in the period on Semyon Varlamov. Shots 22-14 after 40 minutes. Power play for the Blue Jackets now early on in the third. That's broken off by the, killed off by the Islanders, and we are still not seeing any goals in this third period halfway through it. 25-20 are the shots with just 5 minutes to go, and Alex Texier puts us up by 2. Would that be enough to push us over the finish line for the victory? But not the shutout. Anders Lee kills it with 25 seconds remaining. Still 24 saves on 25 shots by Elvis, so good for him. And Texier ends up getting the game-winning goal. A close matchup, 28-25 are the shots. Elvis still gets first star honors. 2 assists for Seth Jones and a big game-winning goal from the Frenchman himself, Alexandre Texier. So we are now 32, 21, and 3, and are at the top of the Metropolitan Division with 1 game in hand over the 3 teams behind us. That is very, very big. Going up against the Blackhawks now, I'm going to keep Elvis between the pipes. We'll keep on doing this kind of slow sim in the main menu. Jason Demaris is fully healed, so I'll bring back out Dean Kukan. He's been steady, not getting too many more points. I think he played 3 games, no change in the points. Still a +8 though, so very, very steady. Good for him. Demaris will restore the +3 for us. He's a -9, so I need him to wake up because Kukan might end up just taking that spot. So I need him to keep playing well. We lose 4-3 in the shootout to the Blackhawks. I'm going to keep Elvis in against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's a big one. They're a good team. And we beat them 4-3 in the shootout. That's a big, big W against a strong team. Let's get Korpisalo in against the Canadiens. We'll give Elvis some rest. Going through this second half of the season a bit slower than usual since we're slow simming a lot of these games, or at least in the main menu. Montreal Canadiens, they beat us 4-2. So back-to-back there, and now another back-to-back coming up. So I'll keep Elvis in against the Ottawa Senators. We'll go Korpisalo against the Senators. We beat them 3-2, and now Elvis will come in against the Sharks. By the way, Alex Texier has grown to an 83 overall, so we'd love to see that. I forgot the 2 things I said I was going to do, which was to send down Khrushchev for conditioning, and I said I would stop to update the scouting. Just keep thinking too much about switching up the goalies. I keep forgetting to do that. So Khrushchev, I'm going to send you down for some conditioning, and that means I'll call up Bemstrom. You'll take his spot in the lineup in Cleveland. There we go. Give you some ice time. Keeps a +3 on the second. I'll swap him out with Gerby. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. To keep the +5 for Cliff Pooh. 13 goals and 8 assists for him. Schlappick, 11 goals, 21 assists in 42 games. Okay, go. Now's the time that I'll take a moment to update the scouting like I said I would. Then after that, we'll get into the Sharks, and that'll be the last game before the trade deadline. Scouting's all done now. I'm going to put Korpisalo between the pipes again. Try to give him a little softball against the 20-37-4 San Jose Sharks. Do not let me down. And we lose 6-5. Wow. Headed into the trade deadline, that does not bode well. And he has a playable injury. Yeah, okay, things did not go well. I mean, I guess Merzlikins came in relief for a little bit. I don't know. That's not good. I need more. I don't know if I need to replace someone, but I need more security in the goaltending position there, because that's really scary stuff. Let's take a second, just look at the point totals heading into trade deadline here. Bjorkstrand 59-61, Reinhardt 56-59. Alex Texier has been amazing, 51-61, up to an 83 overall. Laine 27 goals and 49 points. Atkinson 49. Justin Falk has been a man possessed with 37 points in 39 games as a Columbus Blue Jacket with +14. Wow. Domi 43 in 57. Boone-Jenner 32. Jones 29. Werenski, and so on and so forth down the line right here. Demaris still a negative 12. I guess I might need to fix the fourth line or something. I don't know, because Frolik's only a negative 6. Stenlund's a negative 14. Demaris a negative 12. Carlson negative 10. Might need to make some sort of change somewhere in there. Because I really want Carlson to grow, and it feels weird to take out Demaris. And Gavrikov and Falk have been so good. I don't think I can touch them either. Sorry, I missed Gavrikov. Gavrikov is a plus 14. Goaltending here, neither of these goalies are really convincing me. Their numbers are exactly the same when it comes to save percentage and goals against average. Korpisalo, though, has 5 shutouts. That means his losses have been really blowout losses to have the same numbers, even though he has 4 more shutouts and 10 more wins. Merzlikins has not been getting good roles here when it comes to the games that he started, going 12, 15, and 3 now. But, I don't know, just maybe revisiting some of the goalies in the NHL here. I don't want to take a starting goalie who is going like a Mike Smith, some people have been talking about. But if we look at like Chris Driedger here, he's 9-2-0, 929 save percentage. In the real world, he's on the way out as well. I'm going to see if we can trade for Chris Driedger, even if we don't have to give up a goalie going back the other way. Because it wouldn't make sense to give them a goalie either. They don't want another goalie. They want to send out Driedger and get Spencer Knight in. So our draft pick situation is getting pretty slim here. With a first, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. We have no seconds, no thirds. Next season we have no second. So I don't know how much I really want to trade picks. Rookie skaters, we don't have a lot of those either. I could maybe try and throw in a guy that we are not using, like I said, like Angle or something. Like these random guys, I throw these 3 random guys in, and we're not even close, I don't think. Even though the trade value is there. Imagine this goes through, hold on. Okay, no, it doesn't meet the block particularly well. Quite far off in value, even though the value bar is higher on our end. If I just give you 3 randos I'm not even using, anyone else I can give you? Would it be over the contracts if I give you another one? Yeah, more than 45 skaters. So I can give you these 3 randos, and I can maybe think about some other picks. Man, this is really tough because we're really getting thin on the draft picks here. And you know I love my draft picks. I like using the draft. How close to just a 7th get us, if any? Oh, thank you very much, Florida. On behalf of the Florida Panthers organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. Let's go. 3 random pieces and a 7th round pick for Chris Driedger. All right, doesn't get much better than that. That's what we needed heading into the second half, well, more than the second half, the final stretch of the regular season. Korpisalo, I'm going to make you a healthy scratch for the moment. You can rest. I'm going to, hold on, here are the changes here. Korpisalo, you're out. Elvis, you're going back up. Driedger, you're going to start. 4th line here. Kevin Stenlund, you're coming out. Negative 14, you've been killing me. You're coming out of here, and I'm going to replace you with, I guess, Kurashev. So I'm going to call up Kurashev. Bemstrom plus 5. There we go. And then into the NHL lineup, we slot Kurashev onto the 4th line. Take out Stenlund. Put Frolik over to the right wing. How's Eric Robinson doing? He has 20 points and is a plus 4 in 61 games. I'm liking Eric Robinson. That's why he got protected in the expansion draft. People like him very much. So scratches, Kurashev plays center left wing, so that's where he'll go. In those 3 games he wasn't great, but let's try him playing with Bozak and Frolik with a plus 1. A little less responsibility as the 4th line centerman. Put him on the wing. Stenlund was not helping us too much. So Driedger between the pipes. We're going through the trade deadline here. We have nothing more to do. Keep current block. We'll go and look at it as always, but I'm not going to make any moves, I don't believe, after that Driedger move. Who knows if he stays on this team long term? No idea. We'll figure it out. Ovechkin, Fleury, Hamilton, Taves, Burns, Ellis. Oof, look at all these names out here. But we have no trade value whatsoever at all. Like, we are bone dry in trade value unless we're trading a 1st round pick, which I don't want to do. And I'm not even going to stay here to look around. I was just curious to see who was on the block. Exit the trade deadline, and let's keep on simulating. The Florida Panthers picked up Dougie Hamilton and a 3rd for a 1st, a 3rd, and Noel. So very interesting move there. Cost them a 1st and a prospect to get his rights. Zach Whitecloud going on waivers. He is a 77 overall, medium top 6D potential. No, I'm okay with that. I don't think we really need him. We're in decline, and Korpisalo fully healed, but he's not coming back just yet after that 6-5 loss against the Sharks. Against the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are 31, 24, and 7, divisional rivals, they are just 3 points behind us. This would be a huge win for us. Come on, Chris Drieger, at home in front of your new fans. Get us this win and put us up by another couple of points in the division. First period, 3-1. What's Elvis doing in nets? Why is Elvis in? I put Drieger and we hadn't played a game since. 3 goals on 10 shots against Elvis. Oh, man, I hate you. Bjorkstrand scores on the power play. Second period, 4-2. Malkin on the power play. Gabriel Carlson scores on DeSmith, 5-2. Okay, get me out of here. 5-2. That is so frustrating. I guess Drieger had the flu last second here, we'll say. That is so frustrating. Elvis, man, you're out. I was going to make you the backup. That just lost you the backup role. You're going to the press box. Have fun up there. And what? Why is Korpisalo here with Elvis? Why would you do such a thing, game? I have Drieger starting, and now he wasn't even on the bench last game. Drieger backed up by Korpisalo. Here we go. Against the Philadelphia Flyers. Another divisional matchup here, even though it's getting very tight. They are also 3 points behind us, 31, 25, and 7. At home, Chris Drieger. Now he's in front of the home fans. Let's do it this time. First period, 1-0, Jakub Voracek. A former Columbus Blue Jacket. Second period now, 4-1. Giroux, Myers, and Hayes. 3 goals in 5 minutes. We just can't catch a break out here at all. Justin Falk scores for us. We're down by 3 here in the third period. Not over yet. Power play Philadelphia. And that's killed off Max Domi. All right, back within 2. 5 minutes into the third period, and it's 4-2 Flyers. Let's go. Who's going to hop on the horse here and bring us within 1? 8 minutes to go. Looks like nobody. 5 minutes to go. Really looks like nobody. And no one has passion, no one has skill, no one has poise, nothing. Great. 5-2 loss against the Philadelphia Flyers. Just another shameful showing. A goalie who's supposed to be good. We have other goalies who are supposed to be good. Just as soon as they lace up for the Blue Jackets and put on that jersey, they just become absolute garbage, right? Time to get something going now here. Bjorkstrand is like the best player on our team, so can I really rationalize putting Boone Jenner in over him? I don't know. Let's just mix stuff up. +5 in the first line. Bjorkstrand's going to go with, can any of these guys play center? 65, 70, and 67. Atkinson has 16 goals, 34 assists. Domi, 19 and 24. You know what? What the heck? Let's put Texier there, Bjorkstrand there, just for a couple games, just to see what happens. Kurashev's a -3 after 5 games. +12, +10, +12, +1. -11, -12. Jason Demaris, you're out of here. I'm getting sick and tired of what you've been doing. Kukan, you're going in. And Korpisalo, you can start and Drieger can back up. I don't know what else to say. Check the special teams here. They were doing very well at the end of last episode. So this, I don't know, the penalty kill. Stenlin's off the penalty kill now. Does that change something? The entire NHL. We are in 14th. We're scoring less and getting scored on more. Power plays at 22.8%. That's still going well. It's a penalty kill at 84.6. That's improved, I believe. 84.6, yeah. So what? Fine, I won't touch the special teams, I guess. But I don't know. Where am I going to point the finger soon here? Nationwide Arena, Oilers and Blue Jackets. Let's go. 7. Even when we score 5 goals, we let in 7. What's happening? Who's doing this? What's going on? The goalies were fine. It's whenever you exit the simulation, that's why. You come back into the simulation, it's a whole new world. We've been here before. 2-1 shootout win with Drieger in nets. Thank you very much. Coming up against the Devils now. Let me make sure Drieger's in nets again, even though my assistant coach edits line is turned off. Okay, thank you. And the goalie rotate should be off as well. Chris Drieger against the New Jersey Devils are 29, 29, and 8. At Prudential Center, 5-2 win. Thank you very much. Sam Reinhardt, that +5. Let's go. Let's go. 63 points for him against the Penguins. Big game here. 3-1 loss. Let's get it back. Another game against them now at home. We need to get this back. We can't drop 4 points. Nikita Nesterov on waivers. He's an offensive defenseman. 77 overall. You know what? He might be good for chemistry, so I will claim him, and I'll have him in the system next year, I guess. We need to win this one. 4-3 win. Thank you so much. Barely hanging on to the division. Big game against the Islanders now. I'm not even going to go in for the live sim anymore. Let's go. 3-2 win. I'm keeping Drieger in there. Drieger, just keep going. Just keep going. 4-3 loss. I'm going to keep him in again, actually, against the... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put him against the Bruins next game. I'm going to put Korpisalo this game. Hopefully that +5. Just keep doing your magic here, +5. I'm believing in you. Korpisalo is going to come back in. Elvis is just going to keep riding the press box. Eat your hot dogs up there with GM data at Nationwide Arena. Against the Hurricanes, we beat them 3-1. Thank you. Drieger, get back in there. Against the Boston Bruins, who just beat us 4-3 a few days ago. Please now for win number 40 on the season. They already have 40. Let us get 40. There we go. 5-1 win. That's exactly what we needed. 5-1 win against the Boston Bruins. 12 games left in this season. We're sitting at the top of the Metropolitan by 3 points at the moment. Just keep rolling. Staying in the menu simulation seems to be helping us. Brutal 1-0 loss against Calgary. Edmonton Oilers, who are 43-24-6. They beat us 4-1. Chris Drieger, don't stop, please. Let's go one more time for Drieger. I'll give you another chance. 5-1 win. Okay, thank you, Drieger. Let's go. 5-1 win against the Islanders now. Big matchup. 5-2 win. That's what we needed. We're 1 point ahead with a game in hand over the Penguins against the Montreal Canadiens now. Point a game for Sam Reinhardt. Carlson fully healed. That's fine. He was never even injured for us. 5-0 shutout. Thank you, Mr. Drieger. There's his first shutout as a Columbus Blue Jacket. We're 3 points ahead of the Penguins, 5 of the Flyers, 7 of the Islanders. Let's go. That's what we needed with 7 games left in this season. Thank you. 43-30-4 up against the Nashville Predators now. Let's go. 7-1 win. Keep riding the wave. KeyBank Center. Kyle Wood with a concussion down in Cleveland. You'd think that you could never get Goliath, but let's get... Okay, Lettinen can go to the second pair, and Shems can come to the third pair. There we go with Harrington. Okay. Against the Sabres, 2-0 loss. He might let in 2 goals, maybe 1 if there's an empty net, and you can't score against Linus King Allmark, the simulation king himself. Let's go. Bruins, 3-1 win. Thank you very much. 2 games left in the season now. Sam Reinhart is a man possessed in this last little stretch against the Rangers. Let's do it. We got the playoffs clinched. 4-2 win. We got the division clinched as well. Thank you, boys. We woke up in the last little bit of the season here. That +5 may have been all we needed. Drieger, you've been great. Good. I'm going to give you just the night off. Korpisalo is going to come in to end off the season against the Ottawa Senators. Let's go into the live sim. They're looking for win number 40. Probably trying to squeeze into the playoffs themselves. Let's see if we can just end it off on a high note. First period, 3 These goalies are just terrible in the slow sim, I guess. I don't know what to say. Bjorkstrand scores on the power play for us. Second period, 5-3. Laine, Batherson, Reinhardt, Anisimov. Down by 2, outshooting by 4. Let's go third period. It's not over yet, but Formenton makes it 6-3. 7 goals on 23 shots. 8 goals on 23 shots. 24 shots. 3 goals on 3 shots consecutively. 3 goals on 3 shots, and he's still in nets. 9 goals. What a sick joke. What a sick joke. 10-4. 5 goals in the third period. Are you mental? Korpisalo, are you okay? What's happening? Who's the negatives? -4 for Kukan? What? -4 Roslovic? The third line and the third defensive pair. Absolute trash. What was that? 10 goals with a 5-goal third period. 2 goals and an assist for Kachuk. They didn't even have anyone who really ran away with it. Their entire team came together. So that's a great way to end off the season. A 10-4 loss. We still win the division by 1 point over the Flyers and by 2 points over the Penguins. We're going to have a crazy tough matchup in this first round. That's unbelievable. That's enough for me to say you're out. You're done. You're done, Korpisalo. You're off to the press box. Drieger's going to start in the playoffs. Korpisalo with a .903 save percentage and 3.03 goals against average. Elvis, you're going to be backing us up in the playoffs. There we go. There we go. Oh my goodness. And these are the lines to end the season, I guess. Kurashev, in the end, he had 7 points and a +1 in 24 games. I wish I could see how the lines changed since we made those, how the points changed since we just made those line changes. But Boone Jenner, I think he had 17 goals, 16 assists, if I remember correctly. Maybe, because now 23 and 23. That would make sense. Bjorkstrand, I guess, I don't think he slowed down, but I think it was just Reinhardt heating up. I guess we can take a moment now to kind of calm down. We made the playoffs, year number 1. We won our division. We won the Metropolitan for the first time in franchise history, by the way. Interesting, since it wasn't even the best record in Blue Jackets history, but the first time we win the division nonetheless. Let's see how we shape up with the rest of the NHL. Oh man, it was a tight race here in the Metropolitan. It was a really tight race. In the entire league, we placed fifth, really fifth best in the NHL. So really, the top teams ran away with it, and the bottom teams were really the worst, I suppose. Lightning and Maple Leafs, those two first-round picks we had. Good thing we traded them because they ended up being 1 and 2 in the NHL. So our scoring came back a little bit. We stopped letting in so many, thankfully. Scoring 3.26 goals per game is the third highest offensive team in the NHL, but letting in 2.83 per game had us probably closer to the middle. Better to the top half, but still closer to the middle. Looking at our power play percentage, we were the 5th best team in the NHL at 22.6%. And our penalty kill at 85.4. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. So tied for 5th as well there at 85.4%. Okay. We were better at home, going 25-15-1. Ended the season 6-4-0 in our final 10 games. Sam Reinhardt, he ended up being the first-line center we really needed. He went over a point per game. He had 83 points in 80 games with 62 assists. What a playmaker. 26 of those points coming on the power play, only at 13 penalty minutes as well. Patrik Laine, only 6 penalty minutes, and he scores 40 goals in his first season here with the Columbus Blue Jackets, a career high in points with 75. Not quite a career high in goals, but very close to it. Very, very impressive to see that. Oliver Bjorkstrand was an animal. 76 points in 82 games. Career highs by far for him, even if you include the season that he had in real life in 2020-21, which was, 44 and 56? So 76 in 82 for him. In this season, he was on pace to do well before, I guess, getting injured. But, wow, just to say, Bjorkstrand, well done. Justin Falk now. This is a Norris caliber season. Since coming to Columbus, he really turned on the Jets. 21 goals, 64 points in 81 games. With us, he scored 57 points in 60 games and was a plus 24. So he really enjoyed that change of scenery from the Blues. What an acquisition that was. Alex Texier, though. 27 goals, tied for second in team goal scoring, and 63 points as a 21-year-old in his sophomore season, first full season. 63 points. If he hadn't played so many games in 2019-20, that would be a Norris caliber year for Alex Texier. Very, very well done from him. Extremely proud. Can't wait to see what the future has for him. Cam Atkinson scored 61 points in 82 games. Love to see it. Max Domi, 48 and 78. He started to drop off. Boone Jenner, 46 and 82 on that top line for a little bit. Werenski, 36 and 82. And Seth Jones, 34 and 82. I would have liked to see more from both of these guys, as Jones has shown himself to be able to score in the 40s and the 50s. And Zach Werenski has demonstrated that he can also get into those 40s. He's up to an 88 overall, by the way. So, would have liked to see a bit more from them. Roslovic was a great third liner. He had 31 points in 82 games. Robinson, surprisingly, had 25 points as a 79 overall. Tyler Bozak was what we needed on the fourth line. 12 points and a plus 6 in 60 games. That's all we needed from him. Gavrikov, a plus 22 with 15 points playing with Falk. Gabriel Carlson, a negative 14. Does he come out of the lineup? Maybe. We gave him his chance to grow. Maybe he comes out of the playoffs now. I don't know. I really don't know. Frolik, 14 points, negative 1. Demaris, 13 points and a negative 12 in 60 games. Very, very disappointed in that. Kukan, 10 points and a plus 5 in 42 games. He was terrible in that game against Ottawa. Stenlin, 9 points, negative 14 in 61 games. Kurashev, 7 points, plus 1 in 24 games. Chris Drieger, what did you do specifically just with us? He went 11, 7, and 0. 1 shutout, 928 save percentage, and a 2.08 goals against average. Those are extremely good numbers, despite the record not being crazy amazing. But still, that's 11 wins and very, very nice numbers. Meanwhile, you have Korpisalo with 903 and a 303 goals against average, and Elvis 907 with a 2.89 goals against average. I think Drieger has to be our starter, and I think Elvis is our backup heading into the playoffs. Looking at the entire NHL for anyone that we may be curious about, leading the NHL was Tyler Seguin with 96 points. So we were not far off there. Well, I mean, 83 is pretty far off, I guess, but this was the season to get it done. No one really getting those crazy 110-plus point seasons. Winning the Maurice Richard was Austin Matthews with 55 goals. Sorting back by points now. The Leafs did very well. Marner, Nylander, and Matthews. That top line was amazing. Barkov, Crosby, Kane, Ovi. Voracek did well, former Columbus Blue Jacket. Panarin, former Columbus Blue Jacket, tied with the amount of points that Reinhardt got in one more game. Sorting just by defenseman here. Falk, where does he go? He was the third highest scoring defenseman, tied with Roman Josi with 64 points, and he scored the most goals of all defensemen at 21. Good plus minus at 13, but guys like Pietrangelo, Spurgeon, really good point totals and plus minuses, so hats off to them as well. But I think that's a Norris nomination for Justin Falk. Goaltending, I don't think we're anywhere close to being up here. Vasilevsky ran away with it. 47 wins, 6 shutouts, 925 save percentage, 2.06 goals against average. Wow. What a year for Andrei Vasilevsky. 91 overall, high elite, and signed for 7 more years after this one. Sheesh. Hellebuck, Anderson, Bishop, Allmark, etc. Rookie skaters. Leading the NHL in rookie points was Tim Stützle with 64 in 82. Lafreniere 62. Then it goes down. Kaprizov 49. Cousins, Velarde, Norris. Pius, Patrick Kane, Suter, if you know that reference. If you know, you know. Seeing some of the players that we traded away. Forgot to check that out. Over on the Buffalo Sabres. Gustav Nyquist. Wow. He had 54 points in 82 games. So good for him. Happy to see that from Gustav. Who had we traded again to the St. Louis Blues in the Falk deal? Was it anyone who was in the lineup full time? Dubinsky played 1 game. Hey, good for him. Yeah, Grigorenko. He scored 3 points and was a negative 11 in 34 games. Were those all with St. Louis? No, sorry. 12 games, 1 goal, negative 6. Yeah, goodbye, Mr. Grigorenko. And Dubinsky even got a little bit of NHL action, so good for him. And also over in the AHL scoring, Cleveland, great record of 42, 20, and 12, but no one really running away with the points here. Nathan Gerbe with 49 and 74, so that's a bit surprising. So I guess it's scoring by committee here in Cleveland. Schlappick 45 and 61, Foodie 45 and 74, still at a 77 overall. Cliff Poo doing okay, 23 goals for a 70 overall, that plus 5's helping. Kyle Wood, 31 points and a plus 16 for him. Adam Peaky, how's it going for him? 26 points plus 16. He's up to a 76 overall. Okay. Dargachintsev, 23. He's up to a 67 overall. Very nice to see all that. And Bemstrom, 22 points in 39 games. Jeremy Roy, 16 and 39. Mattis, how's he doing? 26, 10, and 7 with 5 shutouts. Tarasov getting a lot of starts because I forgot that auto-rotate goalie was off, so I kept Tarasov in for a little while. But good for his growth. Mattis, though, putting up really nice numbers. 9-10 save percentage, 2.09 goals against average. Great to see all of that. But that just about wraps it up for this one, my friends. Heading into next episode, we have playoff action ahead of us, and that will be up against the Florida Panthers. Wow, in round number 1, Chris Driedger going to go up against the team that traded him away. They didn't think they had room for him, and now he's between the pipes. Florida went 43, 33, and 6. Of course, led by Jonathan Huberdeau as well as Alex Barkov. Who else is out here in this first line? Yeah, Patrick Hornquist, Verhaeghe, Duclair, Gusev, Bennett, Tippett. Yeah, they're doing very well. That's a very nice lineup. They have Ekblad, Yandel, Uyghur, Dougie Hamilton, of course, who they got at the trade deadline. Since coming to Florida, he scored 11 points, but a negative 7 in 22 games. Goaltending, it's Bobrovsky, backed up by Spencer Knight, 81 overall at 19 years of age. How did Bobrovsky do this season? As an 86 overall, he went 32, 30, and 5 with 6 shutouts. So you never know if he could turn on the Jets with that 90 poise. Interesting. Gudas, and Strawman as the healthy scratches who are NHL capable. I also want to think about contract extensions, so let me know your thoughts on this heading into the playoffs. Should we think about extending Patrick Laine? I wouldn't mind getting him for probably a 3-year deal, keeping him as an RFA. I think that's more realistic for what he would sign in the real world. I don't think he's ready to commit 8 years just yet. Probably a 3-year deal at 85%, so something like $7 million for Patrick Laine. Reinhardt killed it this year. He's going to want to get paid big time. He's not a UFA any longer, so we have to sign him to, I guess, maybe a 5 or 6 year contract closer to the high 8 millions. I know it's going to cost us a lot. Maybe we wait on him. He is an RFA, so maybe we wait and see if the demand can come down a little bit. And we also can think about Alex Texier. He's going to want to get paid. Yeah, he wants $5 million. Or we can go 4 years, keep him as an RFA, wait until the demand comes down, just qualify him, and go from there. Jason Demaris wants $4 million. I think that he really has, him having the gall to do that is pretty surprising. And we'll wrap it up there. Get ready for playoff action with the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's going to be a good one, my friends. Thank you for following along. Hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, leave a like here. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts or suggestions here on YouTube or over on the Discord server. Link for that also in the description. Let me know who really surprised you as well this year. For me, it was probably Alex Texier the most, and a close second being Sam Reinhardt, and then a third being Justin Falk. What are your thoughts on the goaltending and any other line changes that we should make heading into the playoffs? Any special teams adjustments, if anything? And that will be all we need heading into round number 1 of the 2021 postseason. So thank you so much for watching once again, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.